Control isn't love. I mean, I grew up in high school knowing women who, or girls who dated grown men because they told them what to do, and that's so sexy and blah, blah, blah. And there's a difference between establishing dominance and establishing leadership that's not control, right? That's not fathering you in a way. Because that's often what happens, or mothering you in a way. Like, we can be respectful of each other and respectful of each other's ideas, but I'm not your father and I'm not your mother, and I don't need you all to myself. Someone who needs you all to themselves, and I'm not talking about the cute, I need you all to myself. I'm talking about
my wife needs me all.
Yeah. I desire to have a situation in which I need him all to myself.
She need all of me, brother.
But I believe that man and woman should understand that control is not love. Control is danger. Isolation is not love. Isolation is insecurity. And attempting to, there's a difference between being controlled and being led, being controlled and being taught. And when somebody is forcing you to make decisions that you would not have made otherwise, versus sharing a perspective of why you may want to look at something different, that is not love whatsoever. And it can often start that way. And then, now what happens if you don't listen? What happens to the relationship? What happens inside the home? And a lot of women and men feel like they have to do what they have to do to weather this storm. Or you might feel like you have this man who's providing for you, and you need to be able to be in a comfortable position to build your business, or what is supposed to happen for you is supposed to happen for you. Don't let anybody be out here controlling you. Say something to somebody, right? Speak up about it and get out of that situation as early as possible, because, and this is no longer about you, but conversations like this, people with certain mindsets, it does escalate. It does become more serious. You do lose more of yourself, and ultimately it becomes physical, and then the worst just can escalate beyond that. But we got to let people be grown-ups. And I believe there's something equally powerful. I believe what's more powerful than attempting to control somebody is allowing people to be grown-ups and seeing what they would do without your interference.
If you don't mind me asking, Donnie, do you feel like you're easy to be led?
By who?
In general.
You couldn't lead me. But yeah, I do feel like I'm easy to be led. I'm led every day. David leads me here in this. Everything he tells me to do, I do it. In a relationship, I'm led by my friends. I'm led by my mother. I'm led by people who I trust to lead me. I am led, for sure. And we also have to dispel that narrative. A woman who has an opinion, a woman who is intelligent, and a woman who is not afraid to demonstrate both doesn't equate to a woman who can't be led. People are led by people who they admire, love, and respect, right? When the advice makes sense, when the leadership is coming from a pure place, when the environment feels safe, we are okay being led. And a man understands that he never has to say, I lead you. He just shows up, and it's leadership.
Yeah. Ooh, she was throwing shots at this nigga the whole time.
All right, go ahead, Dara.
That's crazy.
Hell no, I wouldn't want my wife following that shit. Not with the way she talking. I'd have been like, yeah, I'll follow that bullshit.
So my question is, are those two, is that couple Christian? Or believe in God, the scriptures, the Bible?
Who you talking about?
The couple that's on there. Apparently it looks like that dude, David, is her husband.
No, they just got a show together. David's married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he did ask them that. One of the questions he asked was, how do they deal with the fact that people in the comments look at them as being a couple, and she had to break it down for him. He was just trying to understand how it was when it comes to their approach.
Okay. So
when I heard her say, I'm sorry. You go ahead. You were saying something, Darwin. I thought you.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. You got something to say? Go ahead. I mean, what I was
When I
going to
heard
ask you
her
before.
say, okay, go ahead.
What I was going to ask you before the video was, you said you was independent. You bring something to the table. Who's at the other end of the table?
Thousands of men that are fine and beautiful and handsome, and
Did you
they're
say
all
thousands of
oh my
men?
god, do you really want to know? But I'm just saying listen,
No,
it
I
depends
don't
on the
even want to
day,
know no more. I know
honestly.
enough.
That's
But
all you that's all. Listen, I'm saying as far as in general to any woman, that's at the end of any woman's table, because she brings so much to the table, that she is the table. She Why do you think that you're even coming to a table being able to eat? Is because somebody birthed you and nurtured you, which would have been a woman. So when you invite a woman to a table, usually, you
I can invite her
understand
to the table
the
if she's
worth of the woman that you're inviting, number one, and because you got a mother who is a woman. But one of the things that I heard the lady say, and that I agree with, she said that you can't control is dangerous. Okay, you can't make anybody do anything. You can influence them, you can show them the benefits, but if you think that you can control another human being, you're playing a dangerous game. You actually should be by yourself, and you typically might be by yourself for life if you think you can control a woman. You can give one what you're supposed to do, what a good leader does. They show the benefits, they provide a plan, and they give the option to either follow it. If you're going to be in this program, you have the option of, it's not really no control. As far as, like, okay, say for instance, people who are on drugs, you can't make a crackhead stop smoking crack. You gotta take them to rehab. They gotta go to rehab a few times. They gotta decide within their own mind they're gonna be doing something. So that should tell you right there, you can't control a woman. A woman will play a role for so long, but she talking to her friends like, yeah, I can't wait to leave this, and he control. You think you controlling somebody? Listen, go to your grandmother who was married for 25 years to the grandfather who was cheating and stayed for 25 years to her. She gonna say something like, so she might say, yeah, I stayed, but I saved this penny, and she plotting. So you can't be manipulative and think that you're gonna control people and they're not gonna manipulate you back. You playing a dangerous game, and usually when you're in a relationship, you're mirroring one another. So if I'm playing a game where I unfollow this guy because this woman, because she attractive and I'm insecure, that's manipulative. That's instead of me saying, hey baby, I don't feel good about my boobs, I want a boob job, let's work on that. Or let's work out, baby, I need to get in the gym, I'm overweight, I need to lift the whatever. That's what the conversation should be, to address the insecurity, versus, because you're gonna find somebody finer than you. You have to be secure. That's what's fine. That's what makes you the finest person in a relationship. When you feel so confident that can't nobody touch me, can't no other woman touch what I do. Can't no other woman. I don't care how bad she is. I don't care how big her butt is. She can't touch mine. So that's how it has to be.
I mean, I was just giggling off the fact that she said you couldn't lead me. That was crazy. For dude, I'm really sold on the idea, and it's just my opinion, that he is a manipulator. And I say that because of two things. One, he's trying to eliminate people around her. That's the first step into being an effective manipulator, is to eliminate any outside influence. And for two, just by his demeanor, just the way, just a lot of the things that he said, I don't think that he's going to get results any other way, right? It doesn't seem like he could stand on something and get what he needs done. Like for him, I know a lot of people like that. Manipulation is their default because that's the best way they get by, right? It's the most effective thing that they can do to get what it is they want. And they really behave like that. Like for him, he's so timid and all of that. Nobody's going to pay attention to this guy. Nobody's going to listen to this guy. He's going to have to manipulate to get anything out of people. That's just what I would say, because I couldn't see him getting what he wanted any other way. The only thing I would say about the crew is, does anybody else find it to be strange that they felt like they needed to hash this out publicly? And I understand his responses were crazy, right? And most grown men won't really behave like that, but that would be awkward as hell. Like, you're on a podcast and they're saying, okay, yeah, let's talk about this. And they're really, really putting him on a spot. Like, that to me is kind of strange. I think it could have been something that was discussed behind the scenes and hashed out. I don't think that they really need to put him on a public platform and shame him like that. Does anybody else think that was crazy?
You know how you lose your woman?
I felt like they were.
You want to know how you lose your woman and how he gonna lose his? Going on that show, doing what he just did. Because ain't no way in hell I don't went up there and try to justify myself to these fools. If I don't like y'all, I don't like y'all. Ain't no way in hell I went on this show and I stood 10 toes down. See, now here's what's going to happen. She's going to look at him and say, why didn't you just tell him all that shit you told me?
Yep. I agree.
That's how he's going to lose her. She'll be like, you didn't go up there and defend your shit at all. Now I'm going to go
if
back.
If you're a big dog, right, Sweeney? If you're a big dog, stay with your shit.
Yeah.
Timid and I'd be like, nigga, I don't like the shit you talk about, bro. I don't like what you talk about, and you need to get old girl, because if she say one more thing to me, we gonna have a problem up in this mud, because I don't like the way you motherfuckers talk. Y'all be over there on some free spirit, try y'all love shit, and I don't like it. That's why I don't want her following you motherfuckers. And I would have.
Sweetie, I agree with that, but it depends on what type of woman he got, right? It depends on what type of woman he got. If he really got her already and she's manipulated, he could go back home and be like, see, this is part of my master plan. I told you they would behave like. No. I'm telling you, it depends on what type of female he got.